Today's case is one of the most gruesome murders in Malaysia's history. A macabre tale of dark magic, fame, and power that highlighted the country's superstitious and supernatural beliefs in the 1990s. Today we feature Mona Fandey, a frustrated singer-turned-witch doctor who took the darker side of these beliefs and turned them into a lucrative business. Her greed pushed her to commit the gory and ruthless killing of a prominent politician, Mazlan Idris. In the witch's house on the night of July 2nd, 1993, Mona and her husband, along with their helper, chopped the politician's head off, skinned, and dismembered his body into 18 pieces during a flower-cleansing dark magic ritual. The media frenzy caused by the murder trio's arrest and subsequent trial shook Malaysia for decades, which, in effect, inadvertently gave Mona Fandey her much-desired claim to fame. Now let's take a look at our story, the fallen pop star, Mona Fandey. On July 2nd, 1993, a police report was made on the disappearance of a Batu Talam assemblyman of the Central Pahang State. When Datuk Mazlan Idris, 49 years old, failed to show up for several official engagements, his colleague decided to report it to the authorities. Being a prominent figure, this piece of news circulated in the newspaper soon after. At the outset, there were no leads in the case, but suspicions rose when it was reported that 300,000 ringgit was withdrawn from Mazlan's bank account in Kuala Lumpur on the day of his disappearance. On the 22nd of July, 20 days after the missing persons report was filed, a surprising turn of events would eventually shed light on the politician's whereabouts. The police arrested Juraimi Hassan, then 24 years old, for an unrelated drug offense. He was the helper of the popular shaman couple Mona Fandey, 39 years old, and Fandey, who was a year younger. After being questioned by the police, Juraimi, most likely high on drugs, confessed to being an accomplice to the murder of the reportedly missing Mazlan. He then led the police to an unfinished house in the middle of a plantation near Mona's house. In the storeroom and under freshly sealed concrete, police officers began digging. Piece by piece, parts of Mazlan's body were fished out of a hole beneath the storeroom, 1.9 meters deep. Also recovered was an axe that appeared to have been used to decapitate Mazlan's head from his body, as well as knives that could have been used to skin him. 18 body parts of the former politician had been found. But the police did not find them all. Some are still missing to this day. The shaman couple was arrested soon after. The news of their arrest spread quickly, leading to an outcry of shock, disbelief, and deep concern from the community. Many wondered what could have driven the shaman couple to commit such a heinous crime. Mona was born Mazna Ismail on January 1st, 1956 in Kangar, the capital of Perlis, the smallest state in Malaysia. She became a singer and a water ballet dancer at a very young age. It was pretty clear that her lifelong dream was to become famous. Her thirst for the spotlight led her to the music industry in her early 20s. She married Noor Effendi Abdul Rahman, better known as Effendi, who vowed to fund her dream of becoming the country's biggest pop star. To boost her popularity, Mazna Ismail adopted the stage name Mona Fandey. The couple produced and released an album titled Diana in 1987. Mona even booked several TV appearances, and her song Ku Nyanyikan Lagu Ini, which means I'll sing this song, can be streamed online today. After several years, it was evident that Mona's music career wasn't taking off. Disheartened and frustrated, she gave up on her quest for stardom. Eventually, the couple opted to pursue something more profitable and turn their attention to black magic and the occult. This shift led to them discovering a money-making venture which involved Mona offering her services to distinguished figures in society. Who else was willing and able to pay large amounts of money to ensure their success? She offered talismans and lucky charms to ambitious high-ranking politicians who wanted to secure higher positions in the government by any means possible. Mona and Fandey were the go-to shamans for the rich and powerful. They were locally known as bomos or witch doctors, using witchcraft to help the people with their health, money, and success problems. Mona gained popularity since most bomos at that time were old men, and she was a young woman. This was another stage for the frustrated pop star. The rituals and ceremonies were just a different kind of performance. The couple thrived in their new career. The business was so prosperous that they lived a lavish life. Mona testified in court to owning a few houses, but she admitted that they preferred to stay at hotels whenever they fancied it. In addition, they acquired several luxury cars, including a Jaguar, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and a station wagon. In 1993, a rising politician's ambition led him to the couple. Datuk Mazlan Idris, a well-educated man who studied in the United States and from the ruling United Malays National Organization, wanted the chief minister position. It is worth mentioning that Datuk is a title reserved for people who have contributed significantly to society, which is conferred only by the King of Malaysia or the Sultan of their state. What could have driven such an accomplished and powerful man to seek such help? It is important to note that this was the 1990s in Malaysia, and although Islam was the main religion of the country, which considers black magic as a sin, belief in superstitions and the supernatural was still very much prevalent and practiced, especially in the countryside. Mona pledged to boost Mazlan's political career. She offered him a chance to become invincible and rid himself of evil spirits. He would only need to get his hands on certain talismans that were said to have once belonged to the former Indonesian president, Sukarno. Designed to empower and protect their owners, talismans are believed to be objects imbued with magical properties. The items that were to ensure his victory were Sukarno's tongkat, or staff, and a songkok, or traditional Malaysian hat. The hopeful politician readily agreed. The couple's services amounted to 2.5 million ringgit. Mazlan paid 500,000 ringgit up front as a deposit. For the remaining payment, he gave them 10 land titles as collateral. The couple invited Mazlan into their home in Rao Pahang for a spiritual flower bath cleansing ritual. Around 10 p.m. on the night of July 2nd, he arrived at their house. Mona's assistant, Juraimi Hassan, helped the couple facilitate the dark magic ceremony. Mazlan was instructed to lie face up on the floor with his eyes shut. Mona told Mazlan to wait for the money to fall from the sky while the witch placed flowers all over his body. Moments passed by, but no money fell over him. With his eyes closed, Mazlan did not see that Juraimi swung an axe that severed the politician's head from his body. However, the gory ritual wasn't done. The trio butchered Mazlan. They dismembered and partially skinned what was left of his body. When they were finished, Juraimi was tasked to bury the bits and pieces of what was the former politician in the storeroom near Mona's house. So he got to work and dug a hole. The missing parts of Mazlan have never been found. Rumors say that Mona ate them as part of a dark magic ritual. What's more, the couple resumed their normal, luxurious lives following this event. Mona reportedly went on a shopping spree in Kuala Lumpur the day after murdering Mazlan. She purchased a Mercedes-Benz worth 125,000 ringgit in cash, bought a phone for 10,000, splurged on clothes and jewelry worth 40,000, furniture for 20,000 ringgit, and even got herself a facelift for the price of more than 13,000 ringgit. They enjoyed Mazlan's money until Juraimi was arrested. A highly publicized trial began in August 1993. The three were charged in the Raub Magistrates Court for the murder of Mazlan. The trio pleaded not guilty, and in the following months were put on trial by a 7-person jury at the Temerloh High Court led by Judge Datuk Mukhtar Sidin. 70 witnesses were called upon and 295 exhibits were presented by the prosecutors. The sensational trial that lasted 65 days provided Mona Fandey with the audience she has always craved for. She reveled in the attention of the press and the whole country. Escorted by her entourage of police officers, every trip to the courtroom was a walk on the runway. She showcased a variety of colorful and expensive outfits. Always appearing cheerful and upbeat, she loved the camera. She was often seen posing and smiling for the crowd. When finally ushered into her seat, she would smile and wave at the media as if she was at a movie premiere. Her bizarre behavior was unlike any other criminal facing a conviction of that magnitude. Rather than covering her face or avoiding eye contact, she seemed to think the trials were just like her TV appearances, another way to become famous. "Looks like I have many fans," she told the press once on the way to trial. She would often ask the prison guards to supply her with the day's newspaper so she could see herself in the headlines. She reportedly said, "Thank you for putting in such nice stories and pictures." Despite the gory nature of the case, the trial turned into a nationwide circus. Juraimi confessed during his testimony that he chopped Mazlan's neck 3 times so as to completely sever the head from the body. The reason for his sudden confession was also called into question. Was it remorse that pushed him to reveal the murder of Mazlan? Once again, money seemed to be the driving force when it was reported that the assistant wanted revenge for being underpaid. He said that he was given a mere 180 ringgit for doing the dirty work of handling Mazlan's body, while the couple spent all the money shopping. Based on Fandey's defense, money was also the root cause of Mazlan's murder. He said Mazlan owed him and attributed the crime to land title disputes. According to him, the land deal Mazlan made fell through, but the trio still wanted the money. The chaos further ensued when, at one point during the trial, it was reported that Mona tried to sing for the judge. Moreover, she claimed she came from the royal family. This added to the confusion as Mona's bizarre behavior seemed to be far out of the ordinary for a court proceeding. It was also reported that during one of the trials, strange sounds were heard in the courtroom that caused people to run out in fear. The following day, a newspaper reported on this, linking it to sounds heard in Mona's house based on neighbors' testimony. The accuracy and validity of these incidents may not be truly confirmed, as the media was in a frenzy during the whole trial. But these stories prove the fact that the people were more than interested in the trio's fate. During the jury's deliberations on February 9, 1995, it took them only 70 minutes to reach the unanimous verdict of guilty. This verdict condemned the couple and their assistant to the death penalty. Upon hearing that they were convicted, the shaman couple smiled. Mona apparently said to the court, "I'm happy and thank you to all Malaysians," and was caught smiling while exiting the court. They were sent to the Kajan prison while they appealed the verdict. From February 1995 to October 1997, they filed appeals to the High Court and the Court of Appeal, Waterville. In 1999, the court rejected their requests and upheld the death sentence. Finally, the 3 convicts sought to obtain a pardon from the Pardons Board of Pahang, their last chance. This was their last opportunity to appeal against their death sentences, but once again, they were rejected. Mona was also suspected to have committed at least 5 more murder cases linked to an individual who disappeared, but this was never tried in court. The prison officer who monitored Mona said she was often seen praying. She was also kind and friendly, and they even formed a friendship. But the rumors and fears surrounding the witch and her black magic never died away, even in prison. On the day before their hanging, the couple spent their remaining hours advising their biological and stepchildren to be good and to take care of themselves. Just before her execution, the ever-smiling Mona uttered her final words, "Aku takkan mati," which means, "I will never die." On November 2nd, 2001, at 5:55 a.m., Mona Fandey, her husband Fandey, and their accomplice were simultaneously hanged. The murder of Mazlan Idris not only shocked the whole country, but catapulted Mona Fandey's notoriety. She achieved a level of fame that some may argue that her pop star career could never have reached. Her legacy, the threefold impact that the case brought upon the nation, the media, culture, and legal system were undeniably affected. The level of media coverage alone, both locally and worldwide, that the trial provided was astounding. Her story inspired countless films and books. A book even outlined how Mona uses black magic on a daily basis. More importantly, the 3-month highly publicized jury trial was the last to be conducted in the country. Mona's case may have fueled the abolishment of the trial by jury system enacted on January 1st, 1995. Given the pandemonium it caused, the country was reluctant to pursue the jury system anymore. In the cultural aspect, when Malaysia was presented with the visceral reminder of what seeking help from shamans could possibly result in, some say that its popularity waned throughout the years. Nonetheless, belief in superstition is a strong cultural trait that may never fade away, no matter the country. Until now, some talk about Mona returning as an evil spirit. Mona's story also became a warning to those seeking shortcuts in life. In his pursuit of success, Mazlan was willing to seek help from shamanism and dark magic, and he paid the price. Perhaps Mona and Mazlan were two sides of the same coin. The pursuit of fame and power can often lead to morally questionable actions, and this was certainly the case with both of them. Even though the media played a part in obscuring some of the details of Mona's case, there is no doubt that her name and story will continue to live on in infamy. Her smiling face featured in headlines will continue to disturb those who come across her tale. There's no denying that her final words are true. Her legacy, immortalized in her infamous deeds, will never die. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.